Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Hello, dear friends. Welcome, 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 welcome. As we begin the Spiritists Society of Virginia's Friday Inspirational Talks, we'd like to remind you before we begin that we have different days for different programs. So tomorrow, and I'm going to show you a flyer that may remind us about it all. I'm going to open right here as it comes to mind of the importance of sharing these ideas. So here it is. There you go. So here we have it, a reminder for everyone. As you are coming in, welcome friends at the Spirit Side of Virginia, together with the Spirit Society of Washington, D.C., the efforts in this Northern Virginia, D.C. area to bring the teachings of Spiritism in its services. So on Mondays, we have the online spiritual care. On Fridays, the inspirational talks, together with the children's lessons. So if you go to the other channel on YouTube, you are going to find that we have Kardec Radio's YouTube, both this talk and the children's lesson as well. And it's repeating on Saturday morning for Kardec Radio's Facebook at 10 a.m. And then at 11 a.m. on Saturdays, usually we have the online gospel. And in parallel, at the Spirit Side of Virginia, we're streaming the study that we've done years ago at Kardec Radio on the book Good News. But for those who would like to study on Zoom on Sundays at 11 a.m., you're invited to join us as we're studying the book Good News by Humberto de Campos through Chico Xavier every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Zoom. Here you have the Zoom ID. If you have any questions, just send us an email. We'll send you the link so you can more easily access it. Okay? So if you need anything in particular, like fraternal assistance, write an email to the Spiritist Side of Virginia, which is info@ssvirginia.org, and we will reply to you with an appointment in which we can talk either over the phone or through Zoom. Okay? I see Danny Pion. Hello, friend. Hello, Narciso. How are you? So welcome, friends. Those whom we can see and those whom we can't see or are on demand, a big hug to you. Let us begin our session today because we're celebrating today 216 years of Allan Kardec. Yeah, he's not here physically, but he is with us because he continues living on living. He does. 216 years. Kardec was born on October 3rd, 1904. And for us, it's a gift to have a spirit of his stature coming to the earth and doing his unique works. Nobody was able to do what he did, and we are here benefiting from it at Kardec Radio, at the Spirit Side of Virginia, in Spiritism as a whole. To kickstart our moment together, which is a therapeutic healing study session, Paloma is going to read for us a message to help us stay here together. Right, Paloma?
Yes. And we're reading a message from the book, Our Daily Bread, chapter 25, On the Path. And those who are on the path are the ones in whom the word has been sown, but having heard it, Satan soon comes and takes away the word that had been sown in them. Jesus. Jesus is our perennial path leading to divine love. Joining him are all the hope-filled spirits of goodwill, sincere adherents of the sanctifying way. From this blessed and eternal path come the seeds of the heavenly light given to ordinary men and women. It is crucial for people to be aware of this, so that this treasure does not slip by unnoticed. The sanctifying seed will always appear in the midst of the most varied circumstances. Just as the generous wind freely spreads the principles of life among the plants, the invisible kindness provides all hearts the opportunity of accessing the path of love. Nearly always, the divine spark appears in ordinary daily activities, in a book, in an insignificant incident at work, or in the timely remark by a friend. If harmful weeds occupy the soil of your heart, and if you have already received the heavenly principle, cultivated devotedly, sheltering it in the garden of your soul, the human word may fail, but the word of the Lord is imperishable. Accept it and comply with it, because if you flee from the imperatives of the eternal life, sooner or later the angel of affliction will visit your spirit, indicating new paths to follow.
Wonderful, Paloma. Let us now together pray. All right, friends, let us pray here together. Putting some music here. All right. Dear Mother, Father God, we unite our hearts, our minds together at this moment to thank you for our existences and for this reincarnation. Today, especially, we want to thank you for Spiritism and Kardecs' immeasurable works at his time and through these years. 216 years of blessings. Through the efforts of the coming of Spiritism, we found once again the teachings of the Master of all Masters, the Promised Consoler, and we feel the love. We feel how much we are cared for by you. And at this moment on earth, where many suffer immensely, are lost for not knowing, we wish that the vibrations of our gratitude may be multiplied by your providential love and bring them renewed certainty that they are cared for, that none of us are abandoned, that there is always a solution. And all we need to know is to be of goodwill, taking heart, staying faithful to you. We want to serve you more, dear Lord, but not only in religious temples, but everywhere. and especially when we are by ourselves, cultivating beautiful, constructive thoughts and feelings, and especially when we stop doubting our divine essence. May this moment be deeply empowering, therapeutic, as we know you're always in need of good workers. May we stay under your guidance, feeling your protection as you grant us the permission to begin this session tonight. And so be it. All right, friends, before we begin, our dear Luciana is going to lead us into one more question of the Spirit's book. And it's the Spirit's book moment, right, Lu?
Right. We're starting this beautiful time with the mentors, with the doctors, right? In inspiration and celebrating Kardec's birthday, we are here to bring another question from the book that him and his team compile in order to bring us tool and help for our lives, right? We have been studying this book day in, day out, and it's always new how the spirits come and help us and guide us while we are doing these study sessions. And today we are studying question 908, the Kardec, very wise, ask the spirits. And as Daisy mentioned to us last week, we are studying the part of the passions. So we all have passions in our life, and it's important for us to learn about it and know how we can work and deal in this inner journey that we are always being called. So, question 908, the Kardec asked the spirit, how may we define the limit at which the passion ceases to be good or bad? So there is a limit, right? So let us see what the spirits comes and tell us. The spirits reply to us. The passion are like a horse that is useful when controlled, but dangerous when its controllers. You can recognize when a passion becomes harmful at the moment in which you cease to govern it, and when it results in any injury to yourself or others. And the spirit continues. The passion are levers that increase humans' power tenfold and help them to fulfill the design of providence. However, if instead of directing their passion, they allow themselves to be directed by them, they fall into excess, and the very power which in their hands could have done good falls upon them and crushes them instead. All the passions have their principle in a sentiment or need of nature. Therefore, the principle of passions is not evil, because it rests upon one of the providential conditions of our existence. Passion per se is the exaggeration of a need or sentiment. It is in the excess and not in the cause. And such excess becomes evil when results in some kind of evil. Every passion that brings us near to the animal nature takes us further from the spiritual nature. Every sentiment that lifts us above the animal nature announce the predominance of the spirit over matter, and draw us closer to perfection. So how clear the good spirits are to us. Everything there is a limit, and here they give us two poles that we can help us to continue. The mentors, we are always being receiving this guidance and help so we can better make choices in this reincarnation. So all the time that we are going and doing something that is we are passionate about it, as long as it's bringing us to a higher spheres, lifting us our spirit and taking our animalistic tendencies and leaving behind those animalistic tendencies, this is helping us to progress. So always use this measure that the good spirits brought to us. If it's bring us closer to the spiritual realms, to the spiritual things, we are doing good. But if it's bringing us down closer to the animal natures that we had in the past and still have inside of us, we need to change and modify this passion that we have inside. So today, this is what the spirits and Kardec has brought to us to start this study session.
Thank you, Luciana. Thank you for helping us. Now we would like to share with our friends. Okay, we're going to celebrate Kardec, his birthday, by revisiting some insights he brought. Of course, throughout the books, Kardec brings to us many insights, lots of it. But for us, we need to select a few. For you who are home and you are a spiritist, or you are willing to embrace spiritism as a cause for your life, not only a cause, but a way of living, and you want to serve under its principles, what to do, right? It's so interesting because Spiritism, you don't need to take courses to begin a center, to start being a practitioner. You don't. We don't. But there are rules of engagement. Yes, there are. And those who observe Kardec's teachings will always be well guided. Nowadays, because through the internet, we are exposed to lots of talks, lots of books that are titled under Spiritist. The word spirit is the label. People who decide to do programs here and there and elsewhere, how do we know what is aligned and what is not? Because if we simply follow people just because they are doing and we do the same, very likely we're going to make a mistake because we can't follow what people do. Even those who are renowned speakers, renowned writers, renowned mediums. But Vanessa, why should I believe you? No, you don't need to believe me because what we're going to show you didn't come from me. We're just sharing with you the study based on the books. So that's a good thing, that we always pay attention to what people are saying. What they are saying is coming directly from the source of the books, and which books. Because nowadays there are many people that emit opinions. They say, I think, I should. As a scientist myself, I tell you this, that's the number one thing we learn in science. We don't think anything because our opinion doesn't really matter. In science, it's all about facts. Spiritism is a science. Spiritism is a science. And as a science, we rely on, what do we rely upon? Facts, studies, principles. So we need to study. We need to read. And then embracing it, what do? Many people embrace it, watch lectures, they do courses, they read books, and yet they go home and live their lives just like everybody else. What is missing there? So we're going to begin today by sharing with you a video, okay? Let me just go back here with the sharing of the screen to make sure I'm sharing the audio here. And I'll be able to share the slides. Hopefully, you'll be able to watch it. I have my friends here, Paloma and Luciana, to let me know through WhatsApp if something is off. Okay, though I have the camera right here in front of me, somewhat. It's about the unique experience. It's a case, a true account, as told in the book Torments of Obsession, Evaldo. Let us see if we can watch it together. Hold on, friends. Yeah. Let me share solely this. Okay. Again, one more time.
At Hospital Esperanza, founded by the devoted Euripides Bassanufo in the spiritual plane during the 1930s, a group of dedicated doctors and therapists were about to rescue Evaldo, who spent more than 10 years in extreme subjugation in lower zones. Dr. Manuel Filomeno de Miranda describes Evaldo's status as unconscious and under a deep hypnotic trance. But most surprising of his condition is that he's encapsulated in a dark cocoon.
What is this cocoon?
Asked Dr. Miranda to Dr. Messer, the coordinating surgeon. Well, Evaldo's mind has created this cocoon due to his guilty conscience and self-punishing vibrations.
Why did that happen?
He created this cocoon to escape and hide from his own misery, built especially in his last reincarnation. Before his last reincarnation, he spent 10 years being prepared to work both in spiritism and politics due to debts acquired in the previous lives. He reborn in a noble spiritist home. His mother was loving and devoted. He even got married to a good spiritist wife. But as soon as he became an influential politician, he claimed no time for spiritist commitments. He then quickly attuned to corrupted individuals and engaged in extramarital affairs. And the unexpected happened. His wife was taken by a fatal cancer. He got into deep depression once he realized the great damage he did to many lives. In 3 years, he marched quickly to death. After 10 years under spiritual obsession, he was rescued by our team of workers due to his mother's intercession. And here we are preparing for a very delicate surgery in which he will need a team of surgeons to free him from his cocoon and clog his own production of self-punishing guilt.
As Jesus said, from everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded.
Let us all be careful and preserve ourselves from doing evil and not fulfilling our spiritual commitment. So we supplicate for divine help, asking for protection and inspiration to walk into the difficult journey of our spiritual ascension. This case was extracted from Chapter 21, Experiência em Comum, in the book Tormentos da Obsessão, by Manuel Filomeno de Miranda through the mediumship of Divaldo Franco.
Wow. Ooh la la. Here we are. What an experience, huh? Yeah. And people are like, whoa, is that real? It is real. Super real. And the problem here is many people are like Evaldo. We're not talking about political corruption, but like Evaldo, they are prepared. They say they want to do something different. They reincarnate and they prioritize their material life. They go to the Spiritist centers. They pray, yada, 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 and then they go back and they just go prioritize their material goals. And sooner than they expect, they make decisions that they regret. That probably is kind of approved by people in society. And then, at the end of the day, life cannot be happy. So, let us revisit for us what we're doing with the teachings of Spiritism, shall we? Let us revisit what Spiritism is all about. So, first and foremost, Spiritism is the promised consoler. When Jesus was here with us, he said, I am not able to tell you everything, but I will bring to you the promised consoler that will stay with you until the end of times. It's not a person. It's not Jesus coming back in person. It's his teachings coming back. Yes, he's coming back to us right now as we speak of it, because now we understand what it means. Even neuroscience tells us that we don't need to have people in front of us doing stuff for us to be stimulated in our new capacities. For example, if you watch a video of people who are skiing down a snowy mountain, neuroscientists can see that in your body, you are activating areas in your body, though it's still, it's activated as if you were skiing. So showing to us that when we are in Spiritism, revisiting all of Jesus' teachings, it's as if he is in a hologram in front of us. Okay? So, right now, you and I, in 2020, are living the years, the decades that mark the planetary transition. Our planet is still of trials and expiations. If you want to know more about it, let me grab a book. The Gospel According to Spiritism. Go to chapter 3 and read about the characteristics of our planet. This planet is still filled with challenges. Evil still prevails, but we're changing the game. It's moving forward. Soon, maybe in 30, 40 decades, according to the spirits, we will more officially enter a regenerative world. What does that mean? It means that right now, our planet in this transition is receiving noble spirits who are reincarnating. According to Divaldo Franco, for example, we know that Victor Hugo is reincarnated. According to Chico Xavier, we know Emmanuel is reincarnated. He's 20 years of age somewhere in this world. And many more. They are going to help with lots of other spirits throughout the world change all the sectors of our society. with our help. Don't think that they can do things without us, because look at Jesus. He came, people didn't recognize, they created somewhat an embarrassment to the plan, to say the least. So we need to cooperate. The new generations cannot do this work without our help. So right now, to help us in this transition, there are 3 elements that we need to pay attention. Our reconciliation with our enemies, beginning with the enemies within ourselves. There is an enemy within because in previous lives, we've done things, we did things we don't approve to date. And we have that guilt, that sense of shame. We don't know where it comes from. So we need to reconcile with ourselves. We need to reconcile with others as well, from previous lives and this life. Go to the book, Sex and Destiny, and you're going to see a woman named Beatrice who dies at the beginning of the book. She's a good wife, good mom, has cancer and dies. And you're like, oh my gosh, how come she's such a good wife? But then sometime later in the book, in the spiritual realm, they show to us in a regression that Beatrice still holds a lot of anger, still, towards a woman in the past, people in the past who were not the nicest. See? Some people think that just by going through cancer, going through difficulties, going through challenges, they're going to come to terms with their guilt conscience. We will not. And it's not only about what other people do, it's also about how we feel about what they do. Because if people make a mistake and we cultivate anger, resentment, lack of forgiveness, then it becomes our mistake. So we need to work in this planetary transition, reconciliation with our enemies. Then 2, understand that the diseases that are happening now, we see cancer everywhere nowadays. You talk to a physician was telling me the other day, said, when I was in medical school, I barely heard of it. And nowadays, every patient I meet, I see it. And I wonder why. It's not only about the food we eat, the bad habits. It's also about expunging everything that we don't need anymore. Of course, we don't want to be sick. But diseases are means to drain the disturbances from our soul. Blessed are the afflicted. As Emmanuel says in the book, Harvest of Light, Affliction and Tranquility, he says, we need to value our afflictions, learn the lessons, and accept as opportunities to march towards God. It's a new way of seeing it. And finally, understand that natural disasters will happen, sometimes as often as can be, as a wake-up call, and to expedite this selection, those who do not want to conform with the mindset of the planet of regeneration, they will be invited to another school, another planet in this universe, because planet Earth is changing. So for many people, this may be the last reincarnation on Earth. We don't know. And we're saying this not to scare anybody, but just think, either we abide to the call of peacemaking on Earth, or it's going to be very hard to stay on Earth. For those who say, yay, great, this transference to another planet means a planet that is less evolved than the Earth. So it's like the planet of the apes. No wonder Hollywood made this, because it is in the collective unconscious already, a warning that if we do not follow through these teachings, we will sooner or later be transferred to a planet that is less evolved, like it happened to the Earth. At the beginning of times, in ancient civilizations on Earth, and ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, ancient Hebrews, ancient India, ancient China, when there was a lot of wisdom back there, where did that come from? It came from spirits that were in other planets, in their planetary transition. They did not abide, they were transferred to the earth at a time in which the earth needed a lot of boost. They came here to help, and in their turn, they were helped as well because they evolved by facing difficulties amongst people that were even less evolved than themselves. So it's up to us if we follow through now, or we're going to learn it somewhere else in this universe. Then, in Spiritism, it's clear that we're being called daily in a very fraternal, brotherly way. As Humberto de Campos said through Chico Xavier in a message saying preparation for death, in this book that you see in the cover here, Lázaro Redivivo, it's not yet in English, but at least this message is, and published in the Spiritist magazine, and we have even a whole podcast about it at Kardec Radio, SoundCloud, about preparation for death, where you can listen to the whole message. And it says basically that when we're on earth, we need to focus on this, to do good as much as possible, to preserve our clean conscience, and cultivate it daily. And untie our hearts by severing the bonds that link it to the lower passions. Give me just a second, I'll make an adjustment to the sound. Thank you, friends. So look at this. This is a fraternal warning that we're receiving here, one in which we are given the opportunity to change our daily lives. The Spirit said to Kardec that we Spiritists need to love one another and instruct ourselves. What does that mean? It reminds us of this beautiful teaching that the Dalai Lama said in a book named Ethics for the New Millennium. He says that we need discernment, this ethical discipline that is indispensable, this restraint that is needed in the pursuit of our happiness, so that we do not cause harm to others in the process. How many of us as Spiritists, we start embracing the cause, we start serving, and then when we think, I want to help, and we think just to be the willingness to help suffices. But let's talk about this. Does it really suffice when we want to help? And the problem is, if we watch all of this and we're not doing any work, this is critical. If we watch all of this, if we read these books, if we listen to these books, and we go home, take care of our families, take care of ourselves, take care of our work, and we don't help others, and we don't help, for example, Spiritist centers, it's as if we are stealing from life its treasure only to use it for ourselves. What does it call? Selfishness. Oh, but you know, like some people said to me many years ago, Vanessa, I like reading the books, but I don't like the groups. I don't like groups because It's very complicated, the human relationships in general. Yeah, that's what the Dalai Lama is saying. We need ethical discipline. Yes, to form a group, to participate in a group, we need to restrain ourselves. But people don't want it. They want to be free, do whatever they like. They don't want to listen to people. They don't want to tolerate. They don't want to be patient. How are we going to form progress as a society if we don't practice this? So Spiritist centers are a fantastic opportunity to practice ethical discipline. It's when we care for others and we tolerate, because people are tolerating us as well. It's when we are patient, because people will be patient with us as well. Without that exercise, can we evolve speedy fast? No. And as we saw in Evaldo's message, those who only mind their business without caring for other people's business, they fail, especially us Spiritists. The message is clear. One day, Professor Eurípides Barçanufo, a renowned Spiritist, born in Sacramento, Brazil, not California, Sacramento, Minas Gerais, Brazil, beautiful city. He, in one night when he was sleeping, he felt himself like going higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. And when he sees it, he sees the image of the Christ in front of him. He knelt down and was so joyful and reverent. He started crying out of joy. The emotion was such. But then at some point, he glances at Jesus' face and sees that Jesus is also crying. He turns to the master and asks, "Master, are you crying out of joy?" And Jesus says, "No. I'm crying to see those who know the message and do not apply it." Melancholy. That's the feeling. It's so sad. Of course, he feels compassion for us. But why are we here then? So Kardec, born in 1904, on October 3rd, when he became a Spiritist, of course, the first Spiritist, he's the one that coined the term. On April 18th, 1857, when he published the Spirit's book, he realizes that it's impossible to cherish all of these teachings by himself alone with his wife and friends. So in January of 1858, he creates the first Spiritist society in this world. Why? To create a sect and a cult? No, it's nothing to do with it. As an educator, he understands that a science needs a particular space to continue observing the effects of its science, building it, doing its experiments, and applying its teachings. It's as if he opened a school, but it's also a hospital, because Spiritist centers are places where we are rescued in our need for healing. And it's a temple where we cherish our communion with God. And it's also an office, a workplace, a workshop where we can help others by putting our potentialities out. So we understand that to go through this, we need discipline. What kind of discipline is this? Let's see. It's this discipline that Emmanuel told Chico Xavier. When Chico Xavier was 17 and asked the Spirit Emmanuel, I want to help with Spiritism. Like many of us, yay, we're so excited. We entered the Spiritist Center. I want to help. It's so beautiful. Hold your horses, because Emmanuel says, discipline, my friend. How many times did he say it? Many. Not only 3, because he talked about 3 dimensions. Discipline of the mind, of the heart, and of our actions. So we can't simply, yay, I want to help in the way I want. No, there are rules. We're working together. We need coherence. That's why Mentor Joseph, years ago, he says, in the line of thoughts of Emmanuel regarding discipline, that we need coherence to help, to strive to achieve this coherence in alignment of thoughts and feelings, words and actions. And it is a possible thing to do every day, not only inside the Spiritist Center. And this coherence that will give us greater peace of mind, leading us to consistency, just like the sun. The sun shows up every day. When our children say, oh, school day again, we say, yay. We're practicing to be just like the sun. We are there, like the good spirits that meet at the sun, and they are emanating all that light. So repeating an action, when it's a good action, it's practicing to be illuminating, consistent. To be consistent, we need first to be coherent, align ourselves, to discipline ourselves. This was a message by Mentor Joseph. So that's why we selected a few insights from Kardec based on these 2 books that people barely read, right? The Medium's book and Spiritist Trip, Viagem Espírita. So this book, Viagem Espírita, is already in I haven't read the translation, but it's in the website of the United States Spiritist Federation in its bookstore. So if you want to check it out, this book talks about Kardec's speeches and instructions in different Spiritist groups when he was traveling in France, in Belgium, and other locations nearby to instruct Spiritist centers at his time in 1862, especially. So, if we go to the Medium's book, we're going to see in item 341 that there are specific rules to connect with the good spirits. Favorable conditions for a society, but also for us as people, individuals, to attract the sympathy of good spirits, avoiding bad ones. Some people think that to avoid bad spirits, you shield yourself with a light. What is this light? Here comes the explanation. When we have ideas and sentiments that are benevolent, that help others. So if we want to be protected, we need to be of help. If you're going to visit someone who is not well, if people at your work are not well, you're not going to be shielded by thinking, oh, please God protect me, shield me with a light. Have good thoughts and feelings towards the people that are not well. Thus will be shielded. Rejection of every sentiment contrary to true Christian charity. How are we going to attract good spirits in a spiritist group if I look at other people and I don't like them, I don't accept them as for they are, for whom they are, and especially a single desire to learn and improve through good spirits' teachings and taking advantage of their counsels. If the good spirits say, discipline yourself, help others, make sure that you have good thoughts and feelings, and we don't follow through, the good spirits do not connect with us. Why? Because our Wi-Fi is very weak. How is your Wi-Fi doing as an individual? Let's do a self-check. The bar, is the bar like 3 bars, 4 bars, or is it just one tiny bit or none? Are we turned off? Because we won't connect with good spirits just because we pray, read a book, and do what everybody else does on earth. We will connect with good spirits who want to help people if we want to help people. If we have good thoughts and feelings, if we make efforts to follow through their counsels. If they are saying forgive, forgive. If they are saying reconcile, reconcile. If they are saying to us, let us make sure that we produce good thoughts and feelings about that person, let's do so. By cursing people, by judging people, by being judgmental to people, we are not going to be able to connect with good spirits all that often. They want to help us, but our Wi-Fi doesn't have strength to connect. So in the book, Spiritist Trip, Kardec gives advices and rules to us, to groups, but to us as individuals. Let's see some of them. First of all, he says to Spiritists, because now we have Spiritists throughout the world. Many don't have a Spiritist center, but now we are all on the internet. You can connect to all and any group you want through the internet, in any country in this world, because everyone is online. So not being affiliated with any group is not very wise at this moment on earth, because this is a single opportunity to be affiliated. But then when we affiliate ourselves, he says the first condition is to form a group of serious people, however restricted may be. If you go to the Merriam-Webster, he says serious means thoughtful, subdued in appearance or manner. There are many people who engage in Spiritist groups, and it seems like a club, sometimes a club of Brazilians, and forgive me for saying this, nothing against it, but people who miss their homeland, and they gather together because that's the place where they feel like they can remember the things of their homeland, but the Spiritist Center is not about that. Because that's selfish. If we create a group or sustain a Spiritist group just for that purpose, it's a club. It's not serious. Who says it? Kardec only? No, Dr. Bezerra de Menezes. In a beautiful preface to a book that is yet to be in English by Sueli Schubert, Spiritual Dimensions of the Spiritist Center. He says, if people are gathering together to eat together, eat together. That's why at the Spirit Center of Virginia, we don't eat inside of the conference room. Why? Because that's not a place to eat physically, but to nourish ourselves spiritually. So we need to be serious, Kardec says, and Kardec was quite serious. So he says, 5 or 6 informed and sincere members who understand the truths of the Spiritist doctrine and are united with the same intention are worth 100 times more than the inclusion in this group of onlookers and indifferent people. And we see so many people nowadays who are concerned about numbers. How many people are in your center? Jesus never worried about numbers, and he has a message in the book of News talking about numbers. He says, who cares about the numbers? It's about the quality of our unity here. And that was the master, the governor of our planet. So why do we care about it? What is important is that the people who are there, they are serious, they are committed, they are practicing the teachings, then having many people that come and go just out of entertainment or selfish needs solely, without a higher ideal. He says more. The ultimate goal of a center's regulation should be concentration, maintenance of perfect order. Listen to his words. Maintenance of perfect order, removal of any person who does not have serious intentions, and let me fix it. Does not have serious intentions, and could become a cause of disturbance. Are you surprised with that? We shouldn't be surprised, because there are people who come and they think of particular reasons they are there, and they want to change the whole center to accommodate their needs. Disturbing it all. We can't allow it. Here are the reasons why one will never be too severe to the admission of new members. Do not think that the severity will undermine the spreadsheet. To the spread of Spiritism. Quite the contrary, serious meetings are those that make more proselytes. Think about it. Kardec is asking us to think together of the reasons why we're studying Spiritism right here online. Some people are worried about numbers, right? But what if we make this conversation here a 5-minute conversation, and then millions of people were going to watch it, but there's no depth? So that's why at Kardec Radio, for example, the spirit mentors never worry about the number of viewers we have. It's been 9 years. We see the growth, it's clear. But we never worry about it. We don't do marketing. We just share the news. Why? Because the people who come, they need to come because they need the message. Because it's important for them. Not because we are entertaining them. Because Spiritism doesn't come to entertain us. I know, and we know, you and I, that we could be a clown here, making jokes, making everybody laugh, having thousands of people. And yet, how deep would it be? How deep is your love for Spiritism? How many people come and go, come and go, come and go? We're talking about creating new minds that are serious. They want to be multipliers. They want to be advocates for the cause. So we give them instruments, tools, so we can more and more people spread it out. That's Kardec's mindset. That was Jesus' mindset. He selected 12. He didn't select 10,000. 12. It was like a mediumistic group. And forming the current. And then after that to 70, and then 500, now the whole world being invited to the cause in Spiritist centers. The goal is to reach out to those who want to know it, to those who need it. We're not here to attract people for a minute watch. What's the purpose? What's the benefit? And it's also pretentious, because then we're going to try to be better than the master. We can't convince people of loving one another in a minute clip. And we're not here to convince anybody, but to share, to empower. And as Humberto de Campos shares in one of his books, Among Brothers of Other Lands, it's about boosting the discernment, the light of discernment, making freeing consciences. All right? So here we have a little more, just a little more. So we need, when we are in our meetings here, if you're at home, the Spiritist Center is in your home. We know that people may be doing other things, and even you, dinner time, lunch time, etc. But remember, if this is the meeting time, stay there, concentrated. This is time for us to discipline ourselves to another level. And he adds a little more, that everything in the center must be done religiously, every session. We at the Spirit Center of Virginia, we observe these recommendations and we try our hardest to follow through, as much as Kardec Radio, the Spiritist group in DC, to do everything very conscientiously. When silence, concentration should be observed during the sessions. And all silly questions, futile questions of personal interest or of curiosity are prohibited. These are Kardec's words, as well as those who do not have an instructional purpose. How often we have study groups and people start talking about their personal lives. It's not time for this. A study group is not a therapy session for us, not in that sense. We can't be that selfish to use the collective time to vent our problems. We need to ask the counselors, the people who do fraternal assistance to help us before or after the meetings, but not during the meeting. So we need to observe a certain order to the benefit of everyone. And he says, who is going to help us with this? The president of the center. Kardec was the president of his center. And he says, the president of the center will prohibit any communication that does not belong to the society's matters, sometimes mediumistic communications. And all discussions will depart from the special purpose of the society, are prohibited, which depart from the special purpose. So you see how in Kardec's view, we as Spiritists, when we gather together, there are certain rules of engagement that will benefit the flow of this meeting, making it very efficient in two realms. Anyone who would like to speak in a meeting should do so with solely consent of the president. These are Kardec's words. And it's important for us to observe this because he says, even publications All and any publication on Spiritism that comes from the society shall be revised with great care before it is released to avoid useless or harmful results. What is he saying here, publication? Now we have social media, right? Emails, WhatsApp. So before anybody releases any communication that regards the society, we need an agreement here. Because it's a science. As a scientist, if I want to publish any paper, I will submit to that journal, to that magazine, and they will have peer group revising it, sending it back, and I will either have it published right away or make adjustments or be rejected. Because we need to think it's a science. Oh, but I wrote a beautiful thing and I want everybody to see it. Kardec would say, no, we need to see it first before we publish it. Discipline, discipline, discipline. Kardec had all of his texts revised by the spirits through the mediums before he published any and all of his books. Chico Xavier is the medium who published almost 500 books, 462 books. He had the revision of his books by the good spirits all the time. He psychographed, and when he typed in, they revised it, and sometimes he even brought to the meeting to make sure to show to us that in a science there is an order. Maybe you are surprised with it. Maybe people like us, when we first read this many years ago, were like, whoa, I can't believe it. But this is the beauty of it all. Kardec didn't create a movement out of his will. He was an instrument of the good spirits on earth, of Christ on earth, to bring to us a modeling way to work as a group, as a community, as an individual. And he says, any member who becomes a common cause of disturbance and tend to sow discord among others, as well as the ones who discredits the society or whose conduct or reputation may harm the consideration of the Spiritist society, he's saying, may be automatically invited to depart the society. And that's why in chapter 30, article 19 of the Medium's book, which goes hand in hand with this item of the book Spiritist Trip, he says that usually he used to give 3 warnings within a year to dismiss a member that was not behaving well. And people may be here like, oh, Ines, I thought you're going to say something about being a spiritist as a whole. But come on. As Mentor Joseph says, we've been using our time to do it every day at Kardec Radio. But now, as we celebrate 216 years of the birthday of Kardec, the least we can do is also to commit. It's a personal commitment. A commitment to forget about our daily needs and spend time reaching out to others through Spiritism as well, because it brings so much light to our lives. How can we use this for our benefit alone and forget about other people? For those who want a summary of how to proceed as a spiritist in general, not only in the center, the latest issue of the Spiritist magazine, released yesterday, brings to us an article by the spirit of Bino Teixeira through Chico Xavier, translated here for you. And he said, Spiritists are those servants of the gospel who in the field of observation read everything, hear everything, see everything, analyze everything, but they only retain the substance that is of real benefit to them. In the sphere of their experience, they respect everyone, they serve everyone, they deal with everyone, and they work on everyone's path. But they only remain with those who are looking for the way to access the kingdom of God. Between observation and experience, Spiritists practice all the good they can, wherever they can, however they can, and whenever they can. In short, it is possible to identify Spiritists as companions of Jesus Christ in the human experience who do not always do what they want, but constantly do what they should. Feeling this invitation tonight, dear friends, let us visualize ourselves as we are companions of Jesus. Let us visualize ourselves the embrace of Jesus. He is calling us tonight again, saying, come with me, help me, because earth needs you. And what you can do can only be done by you. It's intransferable. Nobody else can do. We're going to stop here to answer to questions, to make comments together as we have our team here to talk about it, right? RK is here and said Kardec's books fit nowadays and probably for a long time to come, celebrating an awesome birthday. RK, let's say this way. What is written in Kardec's books is universal. It says here in the gospel, not only for many years to come, but if you read it in Jupiter, it works the same. Though they are happy there, they would say, oh yeah, the gospel, of course, is our daily life. We're going to read, blessed are the afflicted. They say nobody's afflicted anymore. But blessed are they. They're going to say, for sure, we guess. But it's a rule in the universe. Spiritism brings the universal teachings. Right, friends? So, Paloma, when you hear Kardec mentioning about the way he understood the Spiritist attitude before life, and especially the need to be in a group, what comes to your mind first?
To me, the rules, it's always surprising to me that the attitude expected is so serious. This is not a game we're playing because we're dealing with lives. These are lives. It's our lives and people's lives. We're here together. All of us, the ones talking, the ones watching, and the many others in the world that we don't even know about. This is not a game. And Kardec understood that before Facebook existed. And that's why it's for, eternity, and it's a universal teaching. And it's very serious for us. And it reminds us we study more. We take the work serious every day we do. There's a lot of discipline involved. There's commitment. There are things we should do, might not be what we want to do. But on the other side, he tells us there's a lot that comes from it. It's not just you work, because whatever you give, you receive. He also explained that law in the Spirit's book, the law of action and reaction. So it's beautiful, it's complete. we can understand it, it's logical, and blessed is Kardec to bring all these teachings to us.
Thank you, Paloma. And Luciana, what was the main highlight for you regarding Kardec's insights?
Is this lesson that we needed to surrender, right? Because God is in control, everything comes from above towards us. And all these books, people are always asking us for messaging and guidance. All these books that Kardec, Chico Xavier, they all brought to us in giving us the instruction that we need in order to continue and to make us more aware and how we can become more coherent. And even like when we are in the mediumistic meeting, spirits comes to us, and going back what Paloma said, that this is a serious thing that we are doing. It's not a joke. It's everything is very serious, and we need to take serious and be responsible to everything that we are doing, because they are counting on us. And as you start this talk today, we need to take all the information that we are receiving and transform. Otherwise, we're just like wasting, right? All these teachings. So all the teachings that we are receiving, we need to put in practice. We need to change. And we're very thankful for Kardec for being this educator to organize this book in order for us to always have some place to go and to refer if we are in doubt.
Yes, thank you. And when we talk about Spiritism, friends, we're talking about reminding ourselves that we needed to share these teachings also with our children. And that's why, in parallel, at another channel, we had part of our team with Carol and Daisy teaching them today of one of the virtues as stated by Ben Franklin. Right, Carol and Daisy? So, Carol, you want to share about which of the virtues it was?
Sure. We worked with the children on the virtue of sincerity, and it paralleled with the adult session beautifully because it goes hand in hand with Kardec's advice to all of us in terms of disciplining our thoughts, emotions, and actions and becoming coherent spirits. We told the children a lesson that we are learning ourselves, that it is very important to be truthful no matter what, even when things are hard, and even when our first impulse is to do otherwise. So it was a beautiful lesson from Ben Franklin on coherence as well, right, Daisy?
That's right, Carol. And it fits so perfectly with what we're discussing here, because we reminded the kids, and as Carol said, ourselves too, that in order to be honest and to be sincere, we need to be brave, because we need to have the courage to say the truth no matter what. And it's a lesson that so important for kids, but for all of us, because in our society, we see, so many people taking what they think is the easier way out, but teaching the kids that yes, you have the courage to tell the truth, and you face, the consequences, because in the video that we share with them, it was a beautiful analogy of this. As you lie, you have this monkey attached to your back, and the monkey gets bigger and bigger and heavier, and that's what you're gonna carry throughout your lives. And I will never forget one of messages from the mentors at the Spirit Society of Virginia saying, a lie is a lie, even a small lie is a lie. So it's a beautiful reminder for all of us as we're talking about Kardec's teachings and lessons for all of us.
Thank you, Carol and Daisy. And it's interesting we're talking about sincerity because Spiritism comes and it's the light of the truth. And all the teachings from other philosophies, from other religions, they converge. It's not exclusive to Spiritism. As Kardec says, these teachings are not new. They are just put together in a different framework, and it's very special. So here is the invitation for all of us. Since Kardec's birthday is on October 3rd, no matter when you are watching or listening to this, whether it is today, tomorrow, in 10 years from now, it's an opportunity for us to know more about his life. So go to Netflix. I don't know if in 10 years it's still going to be there, but something else will, or the DVD is going to be out. What we know is go there, watch the movie Kardec on Netflix, and get to know more about how he did it all together. Not alone, certainly, but he really had the courage that many hadn't at his time. So we are being benefited from his courage, his sincerity, his commitment, and he brought to us Jesus in a totally pure form, because now we can see Jesus in a completely different way, out of the cross, without dogmas, in its purity, and the teachings of the Christ really empowering us. So now we're going to use this moment to help others. We're going to do the passes and the prayer now, but don't go away, because not only it's an opportunity for us to use our mind over matter, but it's also charity. When we form this current of light together, the good spirits are using all of us in this intercontinental current that we form right now to benefit people in two realms, right? So we're going to ask Luciana to lead us into this passes in the prayer. Thank you, Luciana.
So let us close our eyes, dear friends, and feel this love that the doctors and nurses and our Master Jesus has prepared for us throughout this session. Breathing in and out, we inhale these love energies in which heals us in the physical and in the spiritual realm. We breathe out and let it go. Connections, thoughts form that were not very happy. As we continue breathing in this love of our Master Jesus, we feel that our body is expanding. We feel the warmth of His light that comes from His heart, reaching our physical body. This healing light from our Master Jesus is so powerful that heals us and helps us to heal our spirit that is in great need of nourishment. And feeling His love, we can see that His love expands to our entire house, healing and harmonizing every single part of this house. And as our house is cleansed and harmonized, His love expands to our neighbors, our state, reaching the whole country. And we can see and visualize this planet Earth being enveloped on the love and in this healing light of Master Jesus. And as we continue to receive these blessings, the healing energy that we need, we feel lighter and part of His love. And in gratitude, together, we pray to all our brothers and sisters in greater need, the ones in our families, brothers and sisters that are part of this universal family. We are all so very thankful of receiving these blessings from God and our governor and doctors and nurses. And as we pray for all of us, we feel very grateful for our Master never leaving us alone and for giving us the strength to continue marching forward, to change who we were and becoming anew. Dear Mother, dear Father God, mentors of the Spirit Society of Virginia, mentors of the Kardec Radio, doctors and nurses, thank you so much for being here with us, guiding us and showing us new point of view so that we can make it better and perfect ourselves. And with the permission of all the mentors, we would like to close this therapeutic meeting of today. And so be it.
Thank you, friends, for being with us here today in one more Friday Inspirational Talk at the Spirit Society of Virginia and Kardec Radio. If you have any question or any particular need that you feel we can be of assistance and support, write to us at kardecradio@gmail.com. We wish you lots of blessings, and until next time.